a rape survivor in India who files a complaint has to go through another traumatic experience only to prove whether she was raped or not.
सोमवार 31 अक्टूबर को कोर्ट ने ये फैसला लिया। सुनवाई के दौरान अफसोस जताते हुए कोर्ट ने कहा है कि अफसोस है कि ये 2 फिंगर टेस्ट आज भी किया जा रहा है।
Begin with some breaking updates from the Apex Court. Supreme Court orders removal of 2 finger test from study materials in medical colleges, saying the unscientific, invasive method.
Hi guys, this is Keshav Malpani. I welcome all of you to yet another session of 12 Minutes to Clat. Today I'm going to discuss about a rather insulting and very discriminating exercise or a mechanism that is used as a part of the medical test for a rape survivor. So anybody who has undergone rape in India or anybody who has accused somebody else of rape in India, the woman has to undergo particular tests or medical tests. It's not in India, it's anywhere in the world. The woman has to undergo certain medical tests in order to corroborate with the evidence and also to be making sure that the actual act happened or not. Right? So this particular discriminating test is called a 2-finger test that has been conducted in India for decades now. Although it was banned by the Parliament as well as by the Supreme Court about 10 years ago. But so far this exercise is being conducted and decisions based on this particular test are coming up in India as well. So this is what I'm going to be discussing. So recently a division bench of the Supreme Court, which comprised of Justice D.Y. Chandrachud and Justice Hema Kohli, they clearly stated and they reiterated the stance of the Supreme Court that this particular test is very arbitrary and has no scientific basis at all. Now let's understand as to what is a 2-finger test. So I think all of you at some point in time must have watched some videos, or you could say maybe read somewhere about certain kinds of virginity tests that happen. Right? बहुत सारी ऐसी documentaries बनी जो हमें virginity tests के बारे में बताती हैं, which is again a discriminating practice wherein if a woman is wedded into a particular house, this happens in certain rural areas in the country, still it happens in certain towns and rural areas, that when a woman goes from her house to her matrimonial house, on the first night of the wedding, they actually lay down a white bed sheet just to make sure that when the man and the woman has sexual intercourse, the woman bleeds. It will be considered that the woman was virgin before marriage and then she lost her virginity only after marriage. And if she does not bleed, then it leads to a conclusion that she was not a virgin. She's at a lot of times beaten up also because of these things, and that is extremely discriminating, right? So these are the kinds of practices that are used to determine the virginity of a woman. Similarly, a 2-finger test is basically a test wherein, in case of a rape survivor, a medical examiner or a doctor enters 2 fingers into a woman's vagina and tests her hymen into a vagina. तो जो hymen होता है ना, that is that part which gets ruptured और उसमें कुछ tears हो जाते हैं after a woman enters into sexual intercourse. However, it is medically proven now that there are so many women, in fact a lot of them, who can rupture their hymen just by normal exercise also. So if a woman is exercising say in a gym or normally cycling, the hymen can be ruptured. The hymen can be ruptured by normal walking also. You do not do anything extra, it can happen at that time also. There are a lot of women who are born without hymen also. That is why the court recently held, and it has been held for over 10 years in India now, that this practice has no scientific basis. Because even if you find a ruptured hymen of a woman or you do not find the hymen of a woman inside the vagina, that doesn't mean that that particular woman has not undergone rape. There's a good possibility that rape हो सकता है. A lot of times it has also been seen that a woman undergoes sexual intercourse and nothing happens to the hymen. That has also happened so many times. Right? यहाँ पर जो particular test है, जो 2-finger test है, इसका premise ये है that a woman who is sexually active cannot have rape allegations against anybody, because a sexually active woman cannot be raped. This is the idea, this is the patriarchal idea on which this particular 2-finger test is, you could say, conducted. A woman who is already so traumatized is again re-traumatized by this particular test, where some other person enters, you could say, 2 fingers into her vagina, which is extremely discriminating again. So I think all of you would know that in 2012, India had to undergo an extremely horrific event, which is the Nirbhaya gang rape case. And that led to mass protests all around the country, raised a lot of questions about the safety of women in the country. So the government made it a task that we need to make the laws for against sexual offences against women a little more strict. So in 2012, they formed something called the Justice Verma Committee, which gave its report in 2013. तो जस्टिस वर्मा कमेटी ने रिकमेंड किया था कि जो 2 फिंगर टेस्ट होता है ना इन केस ऑफ यू कुड से रेप सर्वाइवर का मेडिकल एग्जामिनेशन, दिस पर्टिकुलर टेस्ट शुड बी टेकन अवे. ठीक है, इसको इलीगल बता देना चाहिए. And the government did so. They brought a Criminal Law Amendment Act in 2013 and said that this 2 finger test is illegal and should not be conducted in medical examination. In the same year, there was this case called Lillu versus State of Haryana in the Supreme Court, wherein Supreme Court reiterated the stance of the Parliament, wherein it stated that no court in the country has the power to order 2 finger test and it is illegal, arbitrary, without any scientific basis. Now the case in hand that I'm talking about, जो मैंने आपको starting में बताया था, that is recent judgment of the order of the Supreme Court. What happened in this case was that in 2004, 5, 6 के आसपास में in Jharkhand there was this person called Shailendra Kumar Rai. Now Shailendra Kumar Rai ने क्या किया था? He had you could say raped a teenager and then later killed her by setting her on fire. When the matter went to the district court में बहुत ही clear बात ही हो गई that this person had committed rape as well as murder of that particular child. The district court gave life imprisonment to this person. When the matter was appealed to the Jharkhand High Court, Jharkhand High Court ने इस इंसान को acquit कर दिया on the basis of a 2 finger test, wherein after the death of this particular lady or the particular girl, a 2 finger test was done during postmortem, which said that the hymen was intact and there was no, you could say, injuries inside a woman's vagina. Just on that basis, that particular person was acquitted. Now the matter went in appeal against the Supreme Court recently, and that is what the decision I'm talking about, which was pronounced by Justice D.Y. Chandrachud and Justice Hema Kohli, wherein they said that this particular test should never be accepted in India. They came really heavily on the Jharkhand High Court, stating that this particular test, wherever it was conducted, it is arbitrary. Although जब वो 2006-7 में वो टेस्ट किया गया था, उस टाइम पर this test was not banned in India. But again, at this point in time, we cannot rely on these tests, right? So it was clearly stated कि ये एक practice है which clearly puts women in more trauma who is already a rape survivor, and then no court in this country or even the parliament has the power to designate or to order this particular test for any kind of medical examination of a rape survivor. So I would really like to know your opinion as well on this particular test. As to what do you think? You can mention that in the comment box. I'll be very happy to take it from there. Other than that, I think you would know that I've been teaching on Unacademy as well. I've been taking a lot of classes on Unacademy, particularly on current affairs. So you guys can take, you could say, come to my classes at 9:15, and these are free classes for you at 9:15. जहाँ पर आप मेरी classes देख सकते हो. I'll be very happy to answer all your concerns, discuss some very important current affairs for you for 23 as well as for 24 candidates. Right? In fact, if you're looking to subscribe to my plus classes or iconic classes on Unacademy, you can take a subscription also. You will get 10% off using my code Malpani on it. And you will find the link for the same in description of this particular video. So definitely I would like to know your opinion as well about this discriminative practice. And that's it about the session from my side. If you like my sessions, please subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon. And don't miss any updates from us. Keep liking and keep following us like this. Thank you so much, guys.